It's just
no speech, just the dog.
Just that, no context whatsoever. Just
hello. As always, whenever I do a live show, the first 15 to 20 seconds are always a little bit, am I live? I don't know. But hello, welcome to July's Middle Grade Monthly. Thank you all for joining us. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. Gavin, how are you doing?
Oh, it's been a bit of a long day. I was at work today, and it to be fair, was busy, so it went rather quickly. But yeah, it's just, this is the time of day where I'm just like, let's do what I love, and let's talk about middle grade books, you know? So it's gotten better. It's gotten better now I'm here with you.
Good. I've spent my day elbow deep in polyfiller.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I wanted to ask about that. I'm just a little bit, why?
Jake decided this morning that he didn't like his desk anymore, and his desk was attached to the wall, so it was essentially a giant floating shelf as a desk. And he just ripped it off the wall.
Right.
It's like, no, don't like that anymore.
As you do.
Like pulled plaster off. Like, so I was elbow deep in polyfiller, filling all that back in.
Wow, you are quite the handyman then, because I don't think I even know. I mean, I didn't. I don't want it to come
across as if Jake literally just ripped it off the wall with no regard for the house. Like, we did discuss this, and he did try to remove it properly. It was just more difficult than you'd think. Like, I don't want him to come across as some sort of thug that's just tearing our house apart. That's not what happened.
Not yet. Unless, the internet goes off again, then maybe.
Perhaps. He's not here at the minute. He's actually gone to see his mum for the evening.
Oh, nice.
So
no shouting.
No issues.
No issues, no Jake, asking for a tea halfway through the live show or anything.
I can't promise that, because he may come home, but we'll see. But, Brian could have gone out.
Oh, Brian. Good old Brian.
Today. Actually, he's only just shut his music off. It's been intense. How was your pizza?
I mean, it was really nice. I had, barbecue jackfruit, and it had it was like crust, the crust, it had a filling, like a tomato puree filling kind of thing. It was really nice. I have only ate a quarter of it. If I'm feeling hungry later, I might, have some more. I'm thinking of taking the other half to work tomorrow and having the rest of it then. But yeah, just, when I was really hungry and then I start eating and then I'm just like, oh, well, I'm not hungry anymore. That was me. I
know exactly what you mean, because I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I did chicken and you know how I feel about my potatoes. I did wedges myself. They were delicious. But then I got through my potatoes and was like, I don't actually even want the chicken anymore.
Yeah.
But I was only there for the potatoes, so it's fine.
It's all about the potato.
I just live off potatoes at this point. They're so good. Can do so much for the potato.
I want you to make me the potatoes though, because I feel like I would mess it up somehow.
I'll have to give you, how when you came down I gave you the tea tutorial?
Yes.
I have to give you the potato tutorial.
100%. And I'm gonna have to film it so I can watch it back and just, keep you there so you can keep me right. That's what's gonna have to happen.
Anyway, random 5 minutes of chatter. We are obviously here for Middle Grade Monthly to chat about City of Rust. Yay!
What happened there? Did you hit yourself?
I did hit myself with it, yeah. Just
I think there was a bit of a delay, and that was all.
Oh, okay. You just heard me say ow, but didn't actually see what happened.
Yeah. I was like, what happened there?
I hit myself in the face with it. But before we get into chatting all about City of Rust, Shall we give people a little teaser as what's coming up next month?
Yeah, I'm so prepared for this part. Let's give them the teaser. Oh, where is it? Oh, damn it. It's here somewhere. I don't even know where the hell it is. B? It should be right there.
It should be with your bees.
No, it's not. It should be in my pile of Play Your TV Alright books.
Ah.
There, got it.
Ta-da!
God, that took me a while. What is it called, Jade?
August's book for Middle Grade Monthly is The Shark Caller.
By Willa Bethel. Oh, it's perfect. Perfect for the summer, right? Perfect for August.
Absolutely. You know, sea surrounded by sharks in August. Perfect.
Yes. 100%.
What we all want.
It is. It actually is. I like reading books like set in totally different locales so that I can myself visit them through my imagination. There's a map.
There's a map. I didn't think there was a
God.
map. And have you seen TBR Pursuit? I don't want to spoil TBR Pursuit.
Oh yeah, of course I have. I've left a comment. The book, the very last book, I'm so excited about.
Oh yes, no, you have, yeah. But I was then confused as to why you were amazed that there was a map, because my prompt was literally book with a map. And I was like,
oh. Obviously, I wasn't paying attention to that bit. I wasn't paying attention to that part. But I did definitely pay attention when, I don't want to spoil it for anyone else, but when the very last book came up. I'm
really excited about that.
You should be.
I think it might be the first book I read for the month, because I really want to read it.
Yeah, it should be. And it needs to be like really cozy. It needs to be like, I don't know, you just need to like set yourself up right and just make sure you spend time on it.
August starts tomorrow on a Sunday. So I can just have a cozy Sunday set up and read it in one sitting, because I think that's how I want to read it.
Yes, that sounds perfect. Have a cup of tea as well. Just really go all out for it. Did I freeze there?
You're frozen. For me, you're frozen.
Okay, I want to go into the library.
This is where I don't know if it's my internet or your internet, though.
Mine, I feel like mine went a bit weird as well, so I'm going to go into the library room and see if that works. See if that helps. Let's go.
I do now have an official Virgin Media booster, so I should be okay.
Ooh, very nice. Yeah, you should be. I won't have a booster. I'll get there eventually. Close this door. I feel like the sound in here is going to be so much better as well. I'm just going to sit on the floor. I hope you don't mind.
It's fine by me.
Right. I'm getting comfortable now. This is the way to go. Crop shop. Right now then. Let us begin. Let's talk. Okay, so did we say what Shark Caller is about?
I was going to ask you to do that.
Oh yeah, I can do that. So I kind of like memorized it by now, because I also did a display at work where I have Shark Caller on it. So I did a little recommendation card for it as well. But it is about Blue Wing, and it's set on like Blue Wing's island. And Blue Wing really wants to be a shark caller. And then one day this newcomer comes to the island and Blue Wing isn't like really happy about it. But there is like the promise of like hidden treasure at the bottom of the ocean. And Blue Wing and I can't remember what the friend's called, but they have to go to the bottom of the ocean, face unknown dangers, and find this treasure. Maple. That's perfect for this book as well. Like, what a perfect name.
Maple.
Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, it sounds like a nice summer adventure. I think like the island setting and the water and stuff is perfect for summer. So
100% tropical, gorgeous. I've left it in the other room. I'm not
That's
running
okay.
back to get
I'll
it.
show it off for the both of us. So yeah, this is our August pick. Our live show for this one will probably be the last Saturday of August. That tends to be how they work now.
Yes, and it will be on your channel as well. And it's looking like it will be the 28th of August. So we've got 4 weeks. 4 weeks!
Although, is there something happening on the 28th of August? This is a trick question. There is something happening on the 28th of August.
There isn't?
There is.
All I can hear, wow, all I can hear is music.
That's Brian.
Music.
Oh.
Well, that is so loud. Oh my god. Oh, it's a 36. Oh, it's Meltdown. Oh my fucking god. Oh.
Right.
So
we were
maybe
waiting for that, weren't we, folks?
Oh god. I am okay. I've been at work all day. Okay. I have been.
Maybe we'll do it on the Sunday instead.
Yes, I'll do it on the Sunday. Yeah. Because I want to make sure that I read all of the books that I want to read for Meltdown. So if we have a live show in the middle of that where we're talking about a different book, it just takes away. It takes away from it.
Yeah.
I can't believe how long it took me. Oh my god, I can't believe it took me that long. Jeez. Is that why you made the Sunday like it finished at 12?
I made it a finish at 12 so that I could still have some time off. Because otherwise I wouldn't have a weekend.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, so Sunday for that one instead. But enough about the future. Let's talk about the now.
The now, what's it called again? City of Rust. We're talking about City of Rust today by Gemma.
We're talking about City of Rust and the adorable little Atty.
In this cover, I didn't realize it, but yeah, it's Carl James Mountford again, and just all of the lovely attention to details. And one, it's a sci-fi, and that was something that we were seeking, so that's really good. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what you thought about it, as well as what you rated it.
I had very high expectations for this one.
You did.
Like really high expectations. Because when I saw this cover for the first time before it was released and read the blurb for the first time, I cried.
As you would, yeah.
I cried. I have a gecko. I think this is the main thing I take from this, is that one of our main characters is a gecko. And I have a gecko. So I just feel very strongly about said geckos.
As you should.
So yeah, the beautiful cover of this, and then knowing that it's basically following a gecko, just made my heart soar. So with those high expectations, I don't know if maybe I set them too high, or I don't know.
Yeah. I know. Let's hope like we can talk through our thoughts and our opinions of this book, because I did enjoy it, but I also felt like it wasn't 100% memorable, as we can gather, because I was trying to refresh my memory before we did this live. But I mean, there's like lots of plots and lots of characters I remember, but I'm just like, I can't remember how they got from A to B and then from B to C, like things like that.
I don't know if it's a case in some cases of not remembering how they got from A to B. As it is, I do feel like the writing, I'm jumping straight into writing apparently, the writing kind of let it down in places, because it just didn't take us from A to B. We were at A, we were doing A, oh, now we're at B and we're doing this instead. And there wasn't the transitions, so it felt quite jarring in places, I think.
I felt like maybe like sometimes there were like, is a chapter missing maybe like between chapters, like how did they get here? And I remember when they were it's not really a spoiler or anything, but like when they're in the trash and they're running through the trash from like the junkers and
Mhm.
stuff, and like there was part of me that was like, oh, hang on, I can't really remember how they got all the way up there.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, we're just running
As I
now.
say, I'm not sure if that's a memory thing or the fact
Oh,
that I think
it
the writing
wasn't.
let it down in places.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I did when I put it through Copilot, I think it's a high 3 star. Like that's why I gave it high 3.
For me, it did come out at a 4, but it's quite a low 4.
Interesting.
But again, for me, I don't know if that's because I'm saved by how much I loved Atty. Like, my enjoyment rating on Corpile is significantly higher than my all other ratings.
Really? Ooh.
Which doesn't logically make sense. Like, everything else is kind of, spoiler, 6, 7 territory. And then my enjoyment, I mean, it's only an 8, so it's only slightly up, but like, that's the highest one.
Yeah.
Which doesn't logically make sense, but I loved Atty so much.
You know what? I feel like it does make sense because sometimes I enjoy trash and I know something is trash. Like this book wasn't trash, but like just for example, I can't think of any examples. But just for example, I read something that I did really enjoy, even though I know like the writing was rubbish and like the plot was all over the place. But like if I was really entertained and I loved my experience reading it, I will still give it a high enjoyment. So I totally get that.
Fair. What were the ratings for you guys in the chat? 4-star, low for 14. Low for, again, oof, DNF'd at 98 pages.
I knew Tracy had done that, and I was just like, Tracy, I'm so interested to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, like I think this was such an easy and quick read. Like our race, literally, we'd both finished it within 3 hours.
Yeah,
it was really
even less, because I think we both still had time at the end of that sprint where we were just like, okay, we can do something else now.
And let's not also forget that in the second sprint, when my internet went down, we had like 10 minutes of neither of us reading anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We were under 3 hours. Yeah. 5 stars. Nice. 4.5. 3. Oof.
Oh.
High 3 stars. Atty, and the second half up the rating. Atty. 4 stars. 4. Low 4. 3. 5. 3. You know what? I think this could be one of the most polarizing. Have we had as many DNFs and as many 5 stars?
Yeah, like that's so divisive. Yeah. Ooh.
I mean, it's not a clear split. Like we've got some 3s and 4s in there as well. But I can't think of any we've had where it's been like actually a number of DNFs and a number of 5 stars.
I want to have a look through our back
catalog. Actually, no, I tell a lie. Keeper of the Lost Seas.
Yeah, did people like DNF that?
I think so. I do think so.
Oh, I'm just gonna have a look because I'm sure there's more.
Possibly. Wish I liked it more than I did.
Maybe the Explorer. Maybe that was a bit.
That could have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
We knew from the beginning some things about the grandma didn't help for me. Yeah. 3 stars. 4. Not for me, all over the place. Rayleigh wasn't a strong character, no backstory. How did Atty come about? You do get more of that story later on. But you didn't.
It's quite important, isn't it? Yeah, like it's quite important the way like Atty comes into the story.
Yeah. 4 or 5. Fair. Didn't care. Fine. Atty was sassy. Atty was the strongest character, right?
Oh, 100%. Oh my gosh. Like seriously, like the way he just drives the story forward, like literally and figuratively. Like just like, this story was all about him. And
Yeah.
I love I mean, we can probably talk about spoilers in a bit, but like, yeah, he was just turned out to be the most important, which is what I wanted for. Like, I didn't just want him to be like that silly sidekick that I was kind of assuming he would be, like a little bit of a scene stealer. But actually, I felt like he was like more important than I
He was
first
the main
realized.
character.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I did agree as well, like about really not being as strong a character. I think like at times she just felt like a vessel to allow Atty to shine, and I think that's why character suffered a little bit for me. But
Yeah, Rayleigh was a disguise for Atty, I suppose, because Atty needed to be. Spoilers. Okay, we've done general thoughts. We're going into
20 minutes in
now because I can't discuss this without spoilers.
No. So if you don't care, keep watching.
Yeah, if you haven't read it, now's probably a good time to leave. If you do care, that is. Now I'm going to go into spoilers. Rayleigh was basically a disguise for Atty because Atty needed to be kept a secret and hidden because of his future as this pilot. Yet I still don't understand whether he was created for that purpose truly or not, because they were trying to hide him. And then when the grandma was not killed, and the hitman, whose name I can't remember, basically reveals that he's not here to kill them, she's then all like, oh my god, oh no, what have I done? But what she's done is sent them off to fulfill that destiny anyway. So did she not want them to go and fulfill that destiny, even though that's what she created him for? I don't understand. It's where I feel like the writing was a little bit foggy. I don't really know what the intention was all along.
Yeah, no, I agree, because I was worried that because I'd read it so fast that maybe I had missed something with that, because there wasn't really a correlation between the kind of story of Addie being the one to stop this trash bomb kind of thing, but then I'm like, well, if he's so important to the future of mankind, essentially, then I just didn't see the connection, and like I didn't see like why, like some of the logic, like why was he hidden? Why did the Gran, what's she called, Gran? Like why she sent him and everything away? I just didn't get it. I got confused.
Yeah, this makes sense, as in they're trying to hide him from that person. But when the Gran sends them off to meet the people that they did in the end meet, they were still protected from that woman. So it seems like regardless, they were protected from that woman. I just didn't understand her intentions and what she wanted.
Yeah.
Like, I get that she wanted Atty to be safe and she wanted Atty to fulfill his destiny.
Yeah.
But I don't know how she was trying to go about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand either, to be fair. It's yeah. I really enjoyed the start of it as well. Like I thought it was like such a strong opening for the book. Because as I said to Jade before we started, it felt a little bit like Treasure Planet-esque, and I enjoyed the excitement of that, and like the fact that really Nanny had to go like on the run kind of thing. And that's sort of exciting, but then the story like itself just, I don't think it kept me intrigued enough, so that I kind of started to lose track of the story that we were given, the backstory, if any, and how it all fit together. I felt like there was such a disconnect between character, story, plot. Like it was all there.
Yeah, but it wasn't put together very well. Like clearly Gemma Fowler had this backstory of Gran knowing that boy's, I've forgotten everyone's bloody name, that boy's dad. Gran clearly knew that boy's dad, and they had this plan, and Atty was built. And how did Atty get to Rayleigh? Who is Rayleigh? because it's not actually her granddaughter.
Mm.
There clearly was a backstory. It just wasn't written in.
No.
And it didn't make sense.
No, I feel, I feel like this might have suffered from maybe like editing. Like maybe an editor was like, we don't need this for the plot. But I felt like it could have really helped with just us understanding a bit more, like not just characters, but motivations and like why is it on their shoulders to kind of save them? Like why was it up to like yeah, Addie was creating stuff, but if something that big was gonna happen, then why was it such a secret? Like I don't get like if a huge asteroid or whatever was coming to Earth right now, like why didn't we like somebody would be, or in fact the whole planet would be making sure that that wasn't going to happen. So like why is it up to like them? I don't know. It's just like seems like such a big thing for just small characters, more holy than a pair of holy socks. Tracy
was a bit holy.
Yeah. I was going to say, if we're going to talk about characters, because I saw Emma say there as well that Emma didn't really feel much connection to characters except Addie. I would also like kind of agree. There was one character I think called Care, and I really and I kind of enjoyed them as a character because I felt like they were a little bit more complex, but also just like you've got a little bit of their backstory and the fact that she's called Care because it was written on that note to take care. And I was just like, that's so bloody adorable. It's a bit like, Boy in the North, Eye of the North. I think like kind of like random names and just like that have that kind of quirky little backstory.
And, a place called Perfect. There's a boy in that one as well. It's just Boy.
It's just Boy, yeah. So it felt a bit like that. Like it was like such
and
a
Bored
name.
In the Graveyard Book. You got Bored as well.
Oh yeah. I don't know what else there is, but yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
I liked that backstory for Care, but I still didn't care about her. Attie was the show stealer for me. Attie was the only character I genuinely was interested in, wanted to know more of. I loved his little attitude. And I feel like we said this, I don't know if we said it in the race, but like I wasn't expecting him, one, to be our main character, two, to talk.
Yeah.
The fact that he even has a voice and then ends up being our main character. Oh, I just loved him.
Yeah. Yes. I would totally read another book all about Attie. Like 100%. I just feel like out of the characters I've read in a lot of middle grade books, like he definitely stands out just because like he's just so different and unique to be like a talking robotic gecko kind of thing.
Can we acknowledge the moment where his tail drops off?
Oh, that was so true to real life.
It was. I was confused for a moment because I was like, but he's a robot gecko. But then there was an explanation how, he might be like an android-ish thing, but he's actually modeled after a real gecko, so he kind of functions like a real gecko. And again, a bit confused by that. But his tail dropping off, because he was terrified. And for anyone who doesn't know, geckos, that is a thing that happens. If they are like scared to death, it's a defense mechanism for a gecko to drop its tail off. Their tails are about the same size as their bodies, so if they're being attacked, they will sever their own tail, and it kind of twitches for a little bit so that it can distract the prey while the gecko runs away. So the fact that that was in there.
Yeah. It just, and you know what, actually, I love the fact that you brought up about being scared, because one of the things that I like bookmarked in this book is when like, because I did like the relationship between Addie and Rayleigh. So what I highlighted was when Rayleigh says, I never been so scared in my whole life. And then the gecko's eye snapped open, he cocked his head to the side. You said on the tops after the race, Rayleigh nodded, and I said it on the knock, and when Care dragged us down, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, they're talking about like how they're always saying they're scared of something, but then they do it anyway. And I
Yeah.
liked how they just kept going. And there was that moment, it's on page 317 if anybody wants to have a look. But yeah, a tear escaped down Addie's yellow cheek. He shook it away and then really gives him that speech like, you're designed for this. Gran made you for this, and Gran never made anything that didn't work, did she? It's like that pep talk that you give your girlfriend, like it was like
Yeah.
about a take on the world, you know what I mean? It's like, I really loved that kind of relationship there, but I felt like we didn't get enough of it throughout. And Atty was like definitely the main focus for me. That the rest of the characters just pale in comparison. But when it comes to those kind of small moments, that was when I was like, oh, that's such like a touching character moment.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed
Completely
that.
agree. There were some really nice moments between the characters. And when Care gave Rayleigh the fox mask thing, like
Yeah.
adorable, touching moment between
Yes.
these characters, I just haven't been able to care enough about them for the rest of it to, I think, be truly impacted by this emotional connection.
Yeah. But the fact Annie cried, like that was the only reason why I like really loved that bit. I was like, oh god, like this is a huge thing for Annie, and it's just like, and I thought Annie had died as well, and I was like,
Oh my god,
like,
I also thought Atty had died.
oh, I would have rioted if that had been like.
But that's another thing, I think, where the writing felt really weak towards the end, where it's like Atty out in the soup. I love the fact that it's called soup. In the soup, doing his thing. Oh no, this is a disaster. Something horrible's happened. Oh, we're now like a week in the future and he's back here and everything's fine. Like, it felt weak. It didn't give me enough time to be emotionally impacted by the fact that I thought Atty was dead, because we then fade to black a week later, everything's fine.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is very weak. That's a little bit like almost like lazy storytelling. And it could have been a lot more impactful. It's like I was just watching like say Snow White and Pinocchio, and like they have those moments where they're both like dead for a certain amount of time, and you kind of know they're gonna come back to life. Like that's not the end of the story or anything, but it was still like such a powerful moment because you're like you kind of like how they're going to get out of this situation. We didn't really say how Addie got out of that situation. It just happened.
This is such a good take.
This my God,
would make a brilliant graphic novel where we don't get all of that backstory and all of that deepness to it, but it's still a solidly decent like sci-fi plot. That would be so good. Illustrated by KJM, obviously.
Yes, throughout.
Yeah. This is a brilliant idea.
Especially since I feel like, I mean, because this will probably tie into atmosphere. So do you want to say what you gave characters? Because I gave characters 7.
I also gave it 7.
Excellent.
But about 6 of that 7 is just for Atty.
Yes. 100%. And the other 1 is just the fact that the characters exist.
Yeah, there were characters, 1 point. Atty, 6 points.
6 points, yeah. Yes, that is such a good point. But before I forget about what I want to say about the atmosphere and stuff, like I felt like what was so great about this is that I loved the idea of the soup, and I felt like, especially with Emma saying about being like a graphic novel, that would have been so visually interesting because you do kind of get to see it like a little bit there. Like it's just like a very like basic kind of thing. But like if you can imagine that in like graphic novel form or like properly illustrated, it's rather.
I've just noticed that there's a washing machine hurtling towards the city.
I love that. The attention to detail. They're just like, I loved the kind of depiction of the world and like how we kind of treated the planet. So like again, another moment I highlighted was on page 218. And it says about how people try to leave the soup, but they would get like burned up or swallowed up or hurled back in a ball of fire. And it says the world had become resigned to the fact that it was trapped by its own rubbish. Like that is like such a fantastic kind of like thing to depict, because just with everything going on in the world and like our waste and all of that, like what I think middle grade sci-fi does phenomenally is that it talks about the environment and like it really gives a really in-depth look at what our actions can do to the planet. Like Adam 2 by Alistair Chisholm as well. Like, that's another great example of like humans kind of destroying the planet almost. And it's the same with like in Orion Lost, like I can't remember why they're on the spaceship. Like is it because Earth is dying? Like was that the reason? I can't remember. Like maybe it is, but I feel like
I don't remember.
there's some kind of like issue they're escaping from on Earth. So I feel like with middle grade sci-fi, they're just constantly talking about like this is science fiction, but like it could potentially happen. So that is one of my again another like one of my reasons why I enjoyed this book. Like I didn't love it, but I did enjoy it, and it was because of the whole atmosphere thing. Yeah,
I think the atmosphere was very well done. Maybe less so than atmosphere being setting. I think the setting was very well created. I liked the difference between like the junk city and then the glass city, and how they basically live in the junk of the more elite and make do with that. And it really does reflect reality. These things exist. It is the way the earth is headed, and we will be overflowing with our own rubbish at a point. So it is an accurate representation of that environmentalist perspective.
yeah,
I do think that was very good. Visually, the setting as well, like I found it very easy to imagine, and as you've already said, it made you think of Treasure Planet. Was that right?
yeah, Treasure Planet. Yeah.
I was thinking at the beginning with the drone races, all I could think of was Alita.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I think the visuals, how well you could picture this world, was really good. So, like, the writing may have been weak in regards to connecting character and plot, but I think the representation in the writing and the setting and the atmosphere was much better.
Yeah, agreed. Alita is such a good example, and even just Wreck-It Ralph. I remember in Wreck-It Ralph the when she does the races in Wreck-It Ralph. I don't know why. That also reminds me of that. Random, but I love it.
And I suppose Rayleigh is a little bit like Vanellope. Like, she shouldn't really be there because she is kind of cheating the system, but here we are.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's where Gemma got a little bit of inspiration from then. Maybe we like solved the mystery.
Maybe. That's what annoyed me. Depicted this dystopian world based on climate crisis impacts, but wraps up in a perfect little bow.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, like I don't think you missed anything. Yeah, like I don't think Rachel missed anything because like when Rachel saying, "Oh, did I miss something?" I don't think you missed anything. It's the fact that it wasn't there. Like there wasn't like, as Jade said, it was like a fade of black, and then everything's kind of all right in the end, kind of thing. Yeah. Like I don't think there is gonna be an easy fix to the way the environment has gone, especially in this book, because I feel like it's not sustainable. Like this world, this earth is not sustainable in what's happened to it. So I feel like they need to at least have something in place so that I don't know, like people can live, because it just sounds like having all that trash and stuff in the atmosphere and like.
Who was it? I'm sure. Was it something that Jeff Bezos said? I'm sure there was someone recently, like one of these billionaire assholes. Sorry. Said something recently about how our planet is too precious. We need to start shooting our rubbish into space. I feel like it's something that Bezos said.
I think you might be right, yeah.
And just like, dude, are you sure about that? Here, read this book.
Give him this. It's on Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon.
Yeah, Jeff, you literally sell this book. Read it.
Yeah.
It was the owner of Virgin. It wasn't Jeff. It was Brown.
Okay. Well, you've got Virgin.
I knew
it
was someone.
Yeah, the owner of Virgin has the internet, so they can use it to buy City of Rust to read it.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, I see Rachel saying she was being harsh. I suppose it's middle, but I at the same time, like I feel like there are a lot of middle grades that don't end perfectly, and I feel like There are some that will do the story justice. Like, yeah, like I don't think you're being too harsh at all. Like, even though it is middle grade, I don't think you're being harsh at all. Yeah, it's all. Shamey came down.
Brilliant.
That is incredible. What a burn. But yeah, I don't think you're being harsh at all, Rachel. Middle grade is there. Like, it can be in depth, it can be beautiful, it can be all of the things. I just like sometimes they do go a little bit too easy. And I feel like it was the case on this one.
Yeah. There definitely wasn't like a hard-hitting moral on the climate crisis, which maybe it could have done with, but it was definitely there. I think it's there enough to plant a seed in a young reader's mind that maybe shooting a washing machine into space isn't a good idea.
I think you're right.
Reminded Tracy of Wall-E.
Interesting. I do kind of like Wall-E as well. It's not my favorite, but I do like it.
What did you give Atmosphere overall?
7 again.
I actually gave it an 8.
Oh.
I had forgotten that when I said earlier that I didn't think I'd given anything else an 8. I did give Atmosphere an 8.
Fair. I can see why.
I liked it. I could see it. I could picture it.
Yeah. But now I want the graphic novel version of it now.
Yeah.
Oh,
it would be very good.
It would.
I feel like we've already spoken quite a lot about writing and how we think writing was pretty weak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
how weak? Because, I mean, we've said characters are the lower point, but with the atmosphere and the setting being much better, clearly there are things that Miss Chandler can do well and less well. Or as you say, maybe it could have been an editing thing with getting rid of some of the backstory that we don't need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I say now this is where my ratings started to be a bit disconnected. Because I gave rating a 6, even though it's the lowest rating I've given it yet. Even though I thought she wrote Atty so brilliantly, and I really enjoyed the settings so much. And again, we can say it all, but I feel like, with the disconnect and not kind of connecting the pieces together, there were too many almost like holes again like in this story. It's like, I just felt like I don't want to. Oh God, I don't want to say anything too bad. I feel like maybe if a bit more time was like given to it. I don't know how long it took to write this, but I don't know. A lot of it was just like words, like just words on a page, and I don't know how much. I don't know. It's
I also gave writing a 6, so we're on the same page there. I don't want to be too harsh, but there was definitely a bit of a disconnect and too many of those fade to black moments for me where, as we said earlier, you're doing A in A setting and then snap, you're B, doing B and B setting, and then that fade to black at the end when then suddenly everything's okay. It did feel very jumpy. But at the same time, it was a quick read, obviously. It was fast-paced. But was it fast-paced because it was so jumpy? I don't know, but...
Maybe you've hit the nail on the head there. Maybe that's why it felt so fast-paced, because, at breakneck speed, we were in the next kind of scene. And, I think that might help. But you know what? It just makes me look even more excited to reading Sharkhola, because even though we are doing a reading race for that one as well, and I feel like that one's just going to be like, for that one I felt like this one, it had to build so much for us to believe what was going to go on and what was happening with the soup and things. So I felt like with this one, it's trickier, and I honestly applaud anybody who can write science fiction and make it at least a little bit believable, which I do think Gemma made a lot of this feel believable. Like, this could actually happen. But I just think because it was such a high concept and it fell through because not all of the writing made sense in that there was all of those disconnections. I don't know. I know what I mean in my head, but like, oh shit. But I just like it's high concept. Like I feel like you need to make sure that it's all planned out. It's all. It was mentioned with the pandemic. Okay.
So it was kind of pumped out pretty quickly then.
Yeah, like I just felt like it needed more time. I don't know. Like I don't want to assume, but it just felt like maybe more scenes, maybe more editing. I don't know. I don't know. I hope she never watches this.
I've crammed too many scenes into such short space. That's what I'm writing down. However, I didn't notice.
Mm.
Yeah, like when I was in a scene, I thought the writing was great. Like that scene was well constructed and I was engaged in that. It's the connections between. Like, yeah, I don't like travel scenes where we spend 30 pages trekking to the next place, describing that rock. You don't need that.
Yeah.
But you do need something to connect them. And I do feel like that.
Even just like once or twice, like it felt like it just did it too many times. Like I don't mind maybe a jump every now and then. It just felt like it happened too many times. But like as you say, like when you're sitting there and you're reading it, you're in the scene. Like I felt the same way. So if we were talking about this during the race, like say if we were like after each break, we started talking about this book, I would be like, oh, this is like great and like blah blah blah. But I think it was when I finished it and I started to think about the entire thing overall, that's when I started to be like, oh, you know what? I'm not too sure about what I think about this book. And I feel like it was only last Sunday. We only read it 6 days ago. And when I realized like, oh, I kind of don't remember this happening or like how they did this. And then that became apparent after I read it, not during it. And I just was like, ooh. So that was 100%.
Yeah. And that takes us back to what we were saying at the beginning. We were like, oh, I feel like it's really not memorable because I can't remember how they got from this to this. Yeah. I don't think it's our memory that's the problem. I don't think we were told.
Yeah. We weren't given all the facts.
Yeah, normally, like when we're saying I can't remember this, it's because we read it a month ago. Not less than a week ago.
I love that. Cece reading at 80 speed.
Cece is the reading queen.
Absolutely. Oh my god, I wish I could be that fast. I do. I would have finished Name of the Wind by now if I was.
Ugh. How you doing with that?
I have about 6 hours left of the audiobook, so it's not too bad.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Right, so we've covered writing. I feel like we have also discussed plot a lot, but I gave plot a 7.
Oh, I gave it a 6. I was a little bit meaner. A little bit more mean than you. I think just because I just think because like I feel like with the plot, I just like some of it didn't make a whole lot of sense because we do have this big tragic event that's about to happen. Like, why is nobody else trying to stop it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Is
I don't get it.
The disconnect between Trash City and Glass City? Because we don't really see Glass City. We don't engage with them. Maybe they do know about it. In fact, I'm pretty sure they do know about it.
Right.
And maybe that's the difference between them being this more advanced society and then Trash City that we're in don't have the means to know. Maybe.
I feel like we would be in Trash City. We are trash. If we lived in this world, we would be in the Trash City. 100%.
I can't remember what the city's called. It's not Trash City.
No, it's like Oxville or something. Or
Oxville, yeah.
Oxville, yeah. Trash City.
If we were in this world, we'd be in the soup.
We would be in the soup, exactly. We'd be running the soup, though.
The soup.
Yeah, we would. Yeah, but yeah, I feel like with like the whole plot thing, like I didn't feel like when I was talking about like the atmosphere, I really was talking about like the setting and so, which probably wasn't the right thing to do with like that rating. But like I didn't really feel the tension with this impending doom kind of thing. I didn't really feel it all that much. And I felt like, yeah, the plot, that's what I'm trying to talk about, isn't it? Oh my god, I don't know what I'm saying anymore, Jade. I just didn't feel tension.
I gave the plot a 7. I think it was right. So how my ratings work is like 5 is my default where I sit at. 5 is it has a plot.
Mhm.
It has a plot that I liked
Mhm.
and is quite a good concept. I really enjoyed the concept of having this mysterious pilot that no one knows who it is, but everyone's after it for their own reasons. I feel like we had lots of different ideas of what the best outcome is. We had all these different people after Atty. I liked this, as we've said, the setting, and does it have a plot? I liked how we needed to get Atty to accomplish this goal, and I liked how the plot focused on Atty and him doing his thing.
Yeah.
Atty carried this plot.
Addy did. Addy carried this entire book.
Yeah.
Just like you're carrying this live show.
That's not true. I did like the plot. I do feel, though, I'm going to go back to Emma's comment from before, that it would be stronger in graphic novel format because we wouldn't have expected the depth that we expect from a novel. But the plot and the concept, I think, is great.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's let down
I just don't think
by,
the execution was 100%.
Sorry, I was completely speaking over you. What?
No, I agree. No, sorry, it was me. I think it froze for me a second there. But no,
Okay.
I just, some of the execution I just felt was not it. So I felt like the plot suffered because of that. I think, like, this is the thing, like, I don't know if I'm 100% right because I would, like, I feel like I've forgotten, but not forgotten everything. Like, I feel like I've forgotten a good chunk of this. Yeah.
That's fair, you know. It not being memorable is a thing worth reviewing. If you can't remember the plot, that's a down point for the plot.
Yeah, it's true that. And it was only a 6. Like, it's not like, I gave it a 6.
Yeah,
It's not,
like mine's only a 7. It's not 10. Like, I'm not saying it's fantastic. It's really not. Cece is wearing it.
See, that's why I'm not wearing it, because Cece's wearing the crown.
Exactly. Great concept, yes. Plot, not for me, though. I feel like this maybe is my personal taste rather than criticism. Fair. I mean, it is your review, so your personal taste comes into it when you do your own review. Yeah. It's all worthy points of saying Cat would need a straw for the soup.
Yeah, I've got one here. I'll just use this one.
So yeah, plot 7 for me, 6 for you. Intrigue.
Okay, intrigue I gave a 7 because even though I didn't think the whole kind of the way it ended in the execution was all that great, I was still intrigued about how they would come out of this situation and where it would lead. So the intrigue was there. I did want to keep reading. I did want to find out what would happen to Rayleigh and Atty, as well as Care as well. Like, I wanted to see a little bit more about their kind of story. So yeah, I kept reading. I was intrigued. It was a little intriguing.
Likewise, I gave intrigue a 7. I would say the intrigue was pretty constant throughout it. Like from the beginning, when it was just the drone races, I was intrigued about if they would win. I was intrigued on their building process. I was intrigued about what Atty was and why Atty existed. As the rest of the concept for the plot unfolded, I was intrigued to know how they were going to get out of it. I was intrigued to know what the Gran's motivations were, regardless that we never really got them. I was still
Yeah.
intrigued about it.
Yeah.
How there was that like breakdown in communication between the Gran and Rayleigh, and how she didn't know what to make of the things that her Gran had said. Like, I was intrigued about that relationship and how they would come out of it at the end when Rayleigh kind of had to work everything out for herself because they'd never communicated it. The intrigue was pretty solid throughout.
Yeah. No, fair. I agree. It never really like gave up the intrigue. Like, I would have DNF'd it if I wasn't intrigued by any part of it.
The point that I like, the reason intrigue is a 7 and not 10 is predictability, I guess. And those fade to black moments where, like, I felt like my intrigue wasn't rewarded because it's just fade to black. Now we're somewhere else. Like, it almost feels like I wasted my effort being intrigued.
Get it? Waste.
You froze again. I saw
all of the puns.
What?
Oh, did I? Oh, I was gonna say you made a joke about wasting your time. I was like, oh, am I back?
Yeah, you're back. I'm just confused. What joke did I make?
About it saying like wasting your time, and I'm like, waste as in, waste that's floating in the atmosphere.
Oh, my time is in the soup.
Yes.
Soup is made of time.
High concept that. So many puns.
Intrigue for the first half was very low, but the second half was much better. Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, as you didn't know a lot in the first half, I get that. I was intrigued by the concept of the drone races alone, though.
Yeah. I did like what you said about how you didn't feel like your intrigue was rewarded. Like, it would have been a much stronger book if we had have gotten a lot more in that ending and kind of just seen a little bit more. That would have been a lot more. I would have pushed it up a little bit more for me. Yeah.
I agree. Okay, so that takes us on to logic.
Okay, I gave that one a 7.
I also gave it a 7, and I'm now debating it to a 6.
I'm just going to do that. I'm going to take it down to a 6
because the more we've discussed it, the more I'm realizing there were more plot holes than I realized. Because my main one was that very end. How I think about logic is how often I'm taken out of the story. So reading. Oh, that doesn't make sense. I'm confused. Drop a point. I didn't feel like that whilst reading it until the end when I didn't know if Atty was dead and then suddenly he's fine. That was my real disappointing.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. How is he fine? What happened? Ugh. But now, reflecting on the rest of it, there were a lot more of those fade to black. I don't know how we got from A to B moments. So, yeah, I think I'm happy to drop logic down to a 6.
Yeah, I'm the same. And I'm glad you mentioned about like the end bit there as well, because like it also feels like it was almost like too easy. And I don't understand like if all of this plot, all of this tension was building up to this moment and stuff, and it just felt a little bit too easy. Like, then why were they so worried throughout? Almost like it just felt like the stakes almost didn't match up with what happened and like how they got out of it. Like there was again like that kind of imbalance between it. Like it felt like it should have been harder than it was. And yeah, it just again like everything was wrapped up too perfectly by the end. And oh gosh, I hate to say it, but would it have been better if Addie had have stayed dead at the end? Like,
don't say it. No,
well,
I'm glad he's not dead. I just wanted some more explanation on how he's not dead.
Yes.
The end did feel hollow. I agree.
Yeah, especially since it built up so much to it.
Yeah. What I did really like about the end, again, Atty absolutely carrying this book.
Again.
Him flying through the soup, being his own announcer, being like, oh, and then he does a loop here and he swoops there, and is that like all these, like he was yelling out his own movements and stuff. Like,
yeah, I love that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Was very confused about the Junker Queen. Forgot her name. She was just gone suddenly. Yeah, did she melt in that pool of plastic consuming stuff?
Oh, gosh, if she did, that's really morbid. And I kind of want that to have happened now, because we haven't talked about the Junkers at all during this entire live show, because, I mean, again, it was just...
They were so, like, chaotically... I don't know who's who wants what, where they came from, or where they were going.
Yeah.
Or if they died or not. She did. I remember that her, like, being threatened over it, and then her brother, who we found out was her brother, being like, no, her face is made of plastic. Like, what? But
yeah.
I don't remember her actually being consumed by the plastic eating stuff, but apparently she was.
It's disturbing. Just keep coming back, resurrecting, coming back like a boomerang.
Oh. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the Junkers?
Honestly, I don't have very many, because I felt, as you said, they were like quite chaotic, and there was a lot of them, and like their scenes happened like really fast. Like I remember when they were being chased up in the sky, and I think they went into the airplane, and all of that stuff was happening. I just don't feel like they had too much depth. I felt like they were there to be chaotic and to distract the main characters from like their mission and stuff. But the fact that I can't even like remember any of their names is like there was maybe like a bit too many of them, and like we didn't really spend enough time with like very many of them. So yeah, so it's just that was just something that I think was just there, and I just didn't really pay attention to, because that part didn't really intrigue me all that much.
Yeah.
So I mean, I do love the fact about like the Junker Queen, though. Like Tony didn't realize that she'd actually died, so that's interesting.
Yeah. But also, how did we both miss the fact that she actually died? That seems like such a big point.
I don't know.
To have somehow missed it.
Right.
Which again, speak too strongly for the writing. Like, was it obvious? Was it implied? Because that's quite gruesome for a middle grade.
True, but after what I've just read with Pinocchio, I don't think so.
Fair.
Very tame compared to that, but I do love that, though, if that is the case, if it was more like explicit than implied, just because I love we love our dark middle grades, don't we? So
yeah, this definitely doesn't fall into that category.
No, which is like a bit disappointing, really, because the darker the better for me.
We haven't picked that many dark middle grades, I don't think.
No. Well, hopefully this one, not that one. This one.
Oh no.
Hopefully this one.
I'm so scared about reading that one.
Me too. Me too. And I think it's going to be fantastic. Right.
Right, so that was logic, which takes us to enjoyment.
Which I gave a 7.
I gave an 8. I feel like I've been shit talking most of this live show, and I'm like, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I enjoyed the experience reading it with you. Like, one of my favorite memories of reading this book is just doing the reading race for it. Like,
yeah,
that's partly why my enjoyment is quite high, is because I really enjoyed my time reading it, and it was quick and easy. It wasn't too much to think about half the time. It was a good, decent read. Wow. Wow. I mean, even I gave like Den of Vipers like a 1 for enjoyment or something at least. Let's have a look. Whereas Den of Vipers, like the worst book I've ever read, people. And what did I give it for enjoyment? I gave it a 1. Yeah, I gave it a 1. So apparently, City of Rust is
0
Tracy's
is
Den of
very
Vipers. Yeah.
But I
wonder,
really enjoy it.
yeah, I wonder if Tracy has rated anything else a 0 for enjoyment. Because I'd like to know.
This is a very good point from Emma. It was cute, just wasn't to my taste. Atty gets all my love, though.
Oh.
Atty gets all my love. But do I come from a point of I'm so soft for geckos because I have one? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, because I don't have a gecko and I love Abby. So I feel like you're justified.
I do want to make Maurice a little space helmet now, though.
Oh,
I don't think he would ever put it on, but a little Maurice in a space helmet.
Get some mag boots for him as well, and then he can like fly around. That would just be so
good. Maurice.
Oh, it's perfect.
Okay. Cece also doesn't have a lizard.
There we go. So you are justified.
But whenever, I just was imagining Maurice the whole time.
Like, I was imagining you and Maurice.
Me? I'm Raylan. Yes. I'm the really weak character with no backstory that no one cares about. That's so sweet. Thank you so much, Gavin.
And I'm the gran because I'm the old woman.
Well, the old woman that everyone thought was dead all along. Yay!
Surprise! I'm back.
Oh, a new sticker of Space Maurice? Sounds like a good idea.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
Maurice in goggles? Okay. You guys.
We need to go on Google and find these. Oh. I love it. I love it.
Adorable.
So adorable. Best thing to come from this book is the Atty cosplay ideas for Maurice.
Absolutely. If only my gecko would let me dress him up. It would probably scare the tail off him, though.
Yeah, he'd probably drop that tail. Have to get a new one.
Damn it. Right, so overall rating, as I said, mine was a low 4. It has remained a very low 4. It is a 7 on the dot. So the lowest a 4 can be.
Yeah, before it just transpires into that 3. And mine is 6.57. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Far out, to be fair. We had some similar thoughts.
Yeah. I think, was it higher than Me, My Dad, and the End of the Rainbow for you? It probably would be.
Me, My Dad, and the End of the Rainbow got a 3-star, which was a 6.43 for me.
Not bad. Not bad for contemporary and for you.
We've derailed Jade for reading tonight. Yes, you have.
No reading done for Jade. Just all the creative drawings.
Question from Danny here. Short question for the end. Did you choose the books for October to December already? Have we? How far have we announced? We only announced to September.
Oh, have we? Oh, crap. I did just show that book as well.
Yeah, I thought we had announced it, though.
I thought we'd announced it as well. We may have said in a live show.
Anyway, the October book is decided. Gavin already has it. I don't.
Yes. I can't believe I thought I might have already announced it, but I don't think I have. But it's They Throw Us Away by Daniel Krauss. And yeah, it's going to be like teddy bears, perfect for October. I want to try to get an illustration like
teddy bears.
Yeah, look at that. They're coming to get you, Jade. Ooh. And then September is Screaming Staircase, but the November one we haven't picked yet.
And December doesn't have a book because that's our review of the year thing. So there's no book in December.
Yeah.
So the only one we haven't announced is November. And I feel like we discussed this the other night, and we were like, "Wow, we really need to get on that," and we still haven't sorted that.
We still haven't, but we do want it to be like, we wanted to tie into Believeathon a little bit. Kind of want it to be like a kind of end of year, perfect for end of year kind of book. So we're thinking about it.
We are thinking about it. See, I thought that it was going to be creepy teddy bears, but Gavin has since told me that it's not the teddy bears that are creepy.
I don't think it is, because it's like, it's almost like, say, like Toy Story, when like they go to the nursery and it's more the other toys that you should be scared of, because the teddy bears have been discarded and are in a garbage dump, and I think they're just trying to get home, and it's like their adventure of trying to get home, and they come across like different dangers along the way. That's what I'm thinking.
Yet the cover makes the teddy bears look absolutely freaking terrifying.
Yes, they do. Even the one on the back, like there's a little one on the back right there as well. Like,
they look so scary, but from the description of the book, it doesn't sound like they're the scary ones. But Jesus Christ,
he looks like an evil bastard.
Terrifying.
Yeah, it's like there's screeching rats in it, and there are screeching ghouls, ravenous rats, and a menacing city that the teddies need to overcome insurmountable challenges to find their way home. So I feel like the bears are fine, but yeah, the cover makes them look extremely scary. So it's like, I would say it's like Toy Story, where the toys are trying to get home kind of book.
This is possibly an idea to think about for November.
That is true.
But we want to tie in with Believeathon. So
yeah, that's also true. Which I wouldn't mind if it was like Christmas themed. But I'm just thinking, like, if it's Christmas themed book, it's most likely going to be more contemporary than anything else, unless it's something like Christmasaurus, which I don't think Jade would enjoy. Miracle on Ebenezer Street, which Jade might enjoy, actually.
I've read that one.
Oh, okay. Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Oh, there we go. See, I told you. I said Jade wouldn't.
Tinsel is another one that I've read and I quite liked.
You didn't really like A Boy Called Christmas, though, did you?
I didn't like that one, no.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't think you did. So Christmas is very hit and miss. I don't know if. Oh, actually, there's one coming out later this year called something by Mel Taylor Bassett. Mel Taylor Bassett. It looks really good. Oh, something about Jingle Bells or something. I don't know. Oh god, that looks. There is something that's coming out in October/September, I think, and it looks like Frozen. It looks like Frozen.
Okay, so that's our November pick. I don't even know what that is.
I'm going to double check the release date, but it does mean that it'll be quite new. But I feel like that should be fine, because the September pick and the October pick are like backlist. So November could be a new book.
Will it be available in the States?
That is. Oh, you know what? It comes out on the 28th of October, and I feel like that's just a bit too late for people to get hold of it, I think.
Yeah.
But it was this one, The Ice Whisperers.
Oh, that looks really cute. I want that. What is that?
It's like, it opens up and then...
I want it even more.
I'll ask Phoebe from Puffin to send you one. But it's
essentially about ice. I should be on that list.
You should be on that list. I might actually try and read this for Polathon. But it's essentially two girls. Well, one, we follow Bella, whose mother died. She is summoned to deepest Siberia to stay with an uncle she's never met. Exploring his strange scientific workshop, she uncovers a secret she was never meant to find. A doorway that opens to an icy land, frozen in time and full of legends come to life. But this frozen world is in danger, and it's up to Bella to find a way to save it. To succeed, she must join forces with the impossible, a long-lost sister she never knew she had, born 40,000 years before. So it sounds like Anna and Elsa. But like if they were born 40,000 years apart.
You should definitely ask them to send me a copy of that. Here we go. Pre-ordered it from Book Depository, and I'm in the States. So could be available. But we could make it.
Yeah, like we could do like a
We
November
could
and
make
December
it a
together.
February pick for next year.
Oh, that's a good shout. That's a good shout.
Heads up, February 2022.
We picked February, but not November.
Yeah, or January.
Or
But February
January.
sorted.
February is absolutely fine. I'm sure somebody's probably read it from the comments. I'm sure. Oh, Tracy's got on Neck Alley. It's on Neck Alley. But yeah, you can get on Neck Alley, but Jade deserves this copy of it. You know what? I think actually I have 2 copies of this.
Shut up.
I think because it got sent to the store, I need to double check. I think because I remember it came with a cookie and I had 2 cookies.
I mean,
So you're
you
not
should
getting a
email
cookie.
anyway, just so I'm on their list.
Yes, I absolutely will. Don't worry, I will sort it. Because apparently Frost
You
Heart
with
3
all
is
your
coming on
publisher
Netflix.
connections, sorting
Oh,
me
what
out.
can I say? What can I say? I'd do anything for you. I'd do anything for you. Yeah, I was just looking on my shelves there to see if there was anything coming out. Oh, yeah, there is. Oh, when does that come out? Because this could be a good show. Oh, no, that comes out in November. So, no. Oh, man, there's so many good ones that could potentially be, but it's too late.
We'll discuss this off a live show, perhaps.
Okay.
Gav will hook me up with all the polar middle grade. Absolutely.
100%. 100%.
When is Frost Heart going on, Gav?
Well, I actually did get an email from Phoebe from Puffin yesterday because she was asking about Frost Heart Along and asked if I wanted anything for it. And I was like, I don't know what to bloody ask for it. Like, it's just a read along. But I mean, if you want to send me something, do it. But she said, we'll be arranging Neck Alley proof soon, so you'll get a chance to dive in. I've been warned you definitely need some tissues. So, Neck Alley very soon. So it'll most likely be like because Frost Heart 2 came on Neck Alley like mid-August, so it'll probably be in the next couple of weeks. Oh, and I'm gonna read it straight away. I just know it.
I'm very excited about it.
Me too, especially if I'm gonna cry. Oh, Rick Riordan does have sci-fi. It's like something of the deep, Daughter of the Deep, or something.
Oh, maybe worth looking into. I am snacking on blueberry candy kittens. They are my favorite candy kittens.
Oh my. Lions and tigers and candy kittens, oh my.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure we're done.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else more I can say. But in fact, I was surprised I said as much as I did because I thought I'd forgotten everything. But yeah, it's always the case before we start. Yeah, Claire caught it.
That she's eating those blueberry cats.
Again. That's so Jade.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Shark
caller. Shark caller. Next month we will be on my channel again. Sunday. Sunday the 29th.
Yeah.
We'll be here, 9 p.m. Be there or be square. We will arrange the race.
Oh yeah.
Some other time.
And I will have more time as well in August because I am still doing one more week of more hours, but then the week after that I should be back on 3 days. So I shouldn't be doing as many weekends as I'm doing now. So it'll be easier to arrange and we can arrange it a bit more in advance.
Fantastic. Sounds perfect.
Yay, can't wait. August is going to be fab.
Yay! All right. Thank you ever so much for hanging out with us tonight, folks. Thanks for joining us. We hope to see you next month. Enjoy the rest of your evening, afternoon, morning, day, whatever time it is you are. And we will see you next time.